Hello guys, how are you doing? Mr. Max here. I don't usually introduce myself at the beginning of this video, so I don't know why I'm doing it now, but whatever. I don't have a real topic today, but everybody's talking about immersion in role-playing game, so you know what? I decided I'm gonna give it my shot. I have this image of immersion that might make sense for some of you, especially people that are polyglot or multilingual. If you are just like a unilingual American, it might not make much sense. But we'll see about it. Maybe you'll get it. Before we dive in, though, I want to make some announcement. First thing I want to say, I'm pretty excited to announce that I'm gonna have my next episode of RPG Design Talk, where I meet and talk with a RPG content creator, where we talk about the creation process, how to get from an idea to having a finished product. The next one is gonna be on Monday at 5 past noon. So the normal time I do a show on Monday. I usually do the RPG design talk on Saturday, but now this one is going to be on Monday. So there's not going to be one on this Saturday. And because I'm going to have like James Raji on, which I'm pretty excited to have because that's a big catch from my show. I've said many times that my favorite OSR game is Lamentation of the Flame Princess, and that I have a lot of respect for James Raji as a person. So now it's confirmed. I guess he's gonna be on the show on Monday. So at my regular show time, 5 past noon, it's gonna go longer than what I usually go for, or as long as about my other RPG design talk video. I guess I assume I'll take the time that James can offer me and to cover the topic I want to talk to him about it. But since I make this series to kind of inspire people that do have an idea, that do want to put a product out, to find tricks and to find advice, I think it's going to be interesting to have like the opinion and the view of somebody that has not only has been in the industry for a long time, but also has worked with a lot of people and has published a lot of people. So don't miss out next Monday. So there's not going to be a RPG design talk this Saturday. It's going to be moved to Monday with James Raji. Hello, Gary. Nice seeing you. And Max, how are you doing today? So, and on Friday, I'm not gonna be live on Friday either, but there's gonna be a video that's gonna drop at my usual time. It's gonna be a how to play of Pax Lupurum. So if you're, a lot of us know about King Waspinator and Total Party Skill. We know you have games out there. If you wanna know what kind of game, how his games works, you can watch that. All right, now for the topic. I want to talk about immersion in role-playing game. And sometimes I want to share a story with you as well. Sometimes I prepare those video, I go on Chat GPT, and I ask him about the subject because I kind of like to have the normie point of view, and it's almost never usable. It's painfully like normie core, like all those take that are so tried. So I went to ask GPT about immersion role playing game, and I can show you. I took a screenshot of what he told me or immersion was about. Can you read that? Maybe it's a bit small, but he talked about like, oh, it's the detail in the world building and the consistency and the character depth, player agency, giving sensory detail, having mechanics. It's this stuff you would hear like everywhere on every fucking YouTube channel that want to talk about immersion. Like there's no original thought there. So people that are worried about like the rise of AI don't. it's it's just gonna repeat like what he like basically scrubbing the web or whatever, and he repeats the same point that have been said over and over again. So I'm very not impressed. Like it's useful. Like I often say, it's like having a female assistant. Like you would say, like, "Oh, can you give me a report about what is immersion in role-playing game, and that's what she would do. She would go like on her. She's a good worker. She do what she's told. So she'd go on the web and she would look around and find those articles that have been written and basically write the same fucking thing again. So that's what AI is. So don't worry about it if you ever been worried about it. It's just a tool. Hello, Bleaker. Nice seeing you. I hope I'm gonna bring something new to the topic. And hello, DM Johnny. What I wanted to talk about with immersion today is, I don't know if you noticed, but English is not my first language. In case you couldn't tell, I speak French. When I speak in English, I don't think in French and then translate it into English. That would take too long. So when I'm having a conversation in English, I do think in English. And when you get fluent in the language, that's what you do. If you're like some of you out there, are fluent in many language, it's probably what you do as well. Like you just switch your thought pattern, like you're in a different language, and then you think in that language. And that's why, and immersion is a word that's often used with language as well. We say like you do language immersion, you go live in a place that speak the language that you want to get better at, and that's what's going to happen because you're going to be day in and day out in that language. So at some point you're going to dream in in my case in English. You're going to think in English. You're like the first thought that comes to your mind are going to be in that way because like that's the language you've spoken every day. That's immersion. You immerse. When I talk about role-playing game and immersion role-playing game, it's a very similar thing. You don't want to be like you replace your own thought pattern by the thought pattern of your character. You don't look at the game and say, oh, okay, I want to do that. Like it's not like, oh, Mr. Max has an idea to do in the game and then he translated and how his character would go about it. No, like I don't think if I'm playing a character like I don't know, Paul Venus, I'm thinking as Paul Venus. I'm not thinking as Mr. Max. You don't like it's about not translating your own thought pattern into the thought pattern of the of your character. Oh, people are dropping in now. Hello, Nerdy Yoga. How are you doing? Black Lodge game. Hello. yeah. No, it's shocking. Eh? Who would have known? I see you speak French. That's okay. We like you anyway. Thank you. I know it's a big. I take that as a big point of pride because like I know it's a big hurdle to overcome. Hello, Guardian of the Rune. Gentlemen, immersion is belonging to the world. It's enveloping yourself in the facade of the game world via imagination. You require very similitude grounded in some reality we already understand. Thank you, ChatGPT, Max. Insert name here. Yeah, we do. Yeah. If he does like me, well, you can watch even if you don't like me. You don't have to like me to watch. Maybe if you, I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to bring something useful. Bleaker say, I tried to sign up for ChatGPT the other day, but they want your phone number. Yeah, I guess I gave them to it. I gave them. They never called me though. Maybe they don't like me either. But yeah, no, immersion, like it's not about just for me, like when I say I'm immersed, I go a little deeper than just like, oh yeah, the world is very similar, like is believable and stuff like that. I go a little deeper than that. For me, immersion, there's an emotional aspect to it, and there's an intellectual aspect to it, like that. And that's why also, like, you know, some people say, oh, I prefer to play third person. I think first person does help with immersion because that's where you get like because otherwise you always get this layer like, oh, I want to like Sean or C, I want to try a yap. So then like that's the thought you have. It's a game, like a game thought, and then you look at your character and say, okay, would it do that? Oh, my character, yeah, that wouldn't fit my character really. So how can I justify that? If that's how you approach the game, you're not immersed because it's still your thought that are there. If you manage to change your thought pattern, then you'll get into it. When I and it's weird also because like when I say like I speak different language, and when I switch my thought pattern, there's some subject I can only I have a hard time speaking about in French, for example, because they are subject that I learned about in English, that I always talked about in English, and if somebody ask me about them in French, it's kind of like then I kind of have to get back to translation because like it's all that knowledge. It's a knowledge that I all have in English. They're kind of different like drawer in a way. It's kind of like a weird thing. If you never learn another language, you should because it does stuff to your brain that's kind of funky in a good way. But and when I judge in a powerlifting competition, oftentimes I'm in places that are very bilingual, and then like there's people coming to ask me question in English, people coming to ask me question in French, and it goes back and forth, and I have like to switch my thought pattern all the time, like the language in which I think to answer. It's a weird fucking thing. But for me, it's the same thing in role playing game. Nerdy Ogar say, I'm going to ask a stupid question. When you think in English, so you think in English, so you think with an accent. I guess so. I don't hear my own accent. That's weird. I don't think like I'm not really talking to myself when I think. It go much faster. It's more like it's more like words. Like when you can read faster than you can talk. So it's like that. It's almost like I think in words basically. So yeah, it's not out loud. It's not read. But I guess there probably will be an accent. Thanks, insert name, man. I try to be a good man, a good decent man. Hello, Flady, how you doing? Insert name here. A good game makes me want to step into the life of that fictional person that is my character. A bad games mean my character is just stats and level to be pushed for cheese. Yeah, I agree with that, and that's true. That some games that there are some games that are definitely like more gamey that are gonna be like more like almost like a board game where you're gonna be rewarded for taking some action and doing some stuff. And that's that's one thing I say also. Like oftentimes when you're RPG and you go into combat, like you kind of get off this role playing mode because you get into a more or this immersive mode because you get into a more tactical mode. And I know some people don't like that. Some people want to be in the role-playing mode all the time. But for me, I say it doesn't bother me. And I said that before because like being immersed, like hijacking your thought pattern for basically somebody else's thought pattern is taxing. It's tiring and stuff like that. So when you go into combat, it gives you this breather. That's something like I often say. But this is going to be a short video today because I just wanted to make this point, like that immersion, you have to think about like it's your character thought that come to your mind. It's no longer your thought. You don't want to be like look at the game, look what's happening in the game and say, oh, that it'd be cool if I do that, if my character could do that. And then if you're thinking like that, you're not thinking in the mindset of your character. Your character has goal, your character has motivation, your character has qualities and flaws, and that's what should inform your thought. And I guess maybe it's gonna come like a language. It can come over time. Like when you're learning a new language, or when you haven't practiced in a while, and you're rusty, you're gonna be in translation. But at some point with use, you're gonna get better at it. But yeah, at some point it's gonna be this way. You're gonna say, "Oh, I could do that," or "Oh, my character could do that." And then you look at, does it really fit my character and stuff like that? That it is much longer to do it. It's burdensome almost. Well, at some point you're just gonna be do. Oh, I want to. That's what I do. But the I is no longer you. Is the character you're playing. You replace your ego with the ego of your character. So that's for me. That's when you know you're immersed. That's where you know. So it's not about making voice. It's not about acting. It's really like a mindset kind of thing. It's replacing your own mindset. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Would just repeat myself. If you have questions, if you want to ask something, you can do it now. I can still stay on a few minutes. I want to repeat for the people that came in late. I'm not going to be live on Friday, but there's going to be a video that's going to drop. It's going to be a how to play of Pax Luperum by Joshua Allen, King Waspinator of Total Party Skill. So if you're curious about what his game, maybe you've seen him around, you never picked up this game, but you're curious about what they're about, come and watch on a Friday, and you have an idea of the kind of mechanic, the kind of game is putting out. There's not going to be an RPG design talk on Saturday. RPG design talk is going to be this week, well, next week, I guess, on Monday, and I'm going to have James Raji on, and it's going to be at 5 past noon, my usual time to stream, because that's the time that worked. It's the time that worked well with James. I'm very proud. I'm very happy to have him on. So, Legend of Myth say, don't say anything nice about Venger. TPS hate Legend of Myth because we talked to Venger. I would love to have Venger on RPG design talk, to be honest. I asked him. No, probably need to let some dust settle because of all the drama that happened lately. But in my R2 video, I don't. There's no drama. There's no talking about the author. There's not even a critique of the game, really. They're really like, this is the mechanic. This is how you play this game. I make this series of R2 video for like if you were invited to join a one shot or whatever on short notice, you could watch a short video about it and you kind of be able to follow along. So I don't try to sell you on the game. I don't tell you what I think about the game. I did talk about Pax Luperum a bit in a video a little while ago. The video, I think, is called like a designing game for intelligent people. And so yeah, when I do the how-to, I try to separate both, basically, because I want this video to really be useful, and I try not to interject myself too much into it, like not criticize the mechanic. So if you never looked at the game, like, give it a look and you have an idea. I think most of his game use kind of the same system. So I did one for Pax Luperum because that's the game I have. I think the setting is interesting. You play like a werewolf in 3rd century BC in Rome. So I think that's an interesting setting. But yeah, and the mechanics are functional. So it's a very rule-light game. And certain name here say, really looking forward to that Raji interview. I think he says his name Raji. I don't know why you put like 2G in there. If it's gonna say Raji. Anyway, interview, good score. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Hopefully that's also gonna incite other people to come. Like I said, I'd like to have Venger on. I'd like to have. I like having the smaller guy as well. But sometimes it's good also to have people like. I make those interviews to be useful for people that try to publish something. To have tricks, to have to know how other people actually made it. But so having people that did publish a lot, that got a big name, stuff like that, would be interesting as well. I'm gonna wrap up now because I said what I had to say. It's all what I wanted to cover. I just my take on immersion, that it's really about overriding your mindset, changing the way you're no longer playing your character in translation. You, in a way, become your character. Your thought pattern become the thought pattern of this character. If you're a guy that is a coward in real life, and your character is very brave, then you don't think as a coward anymore, and that can be very useful too in life. And I guess it's a lot to do with empathy, trying to understand how somebody else that is not you would think. Not project your own emotion and your own thought on somebody else, which is sympathy, but understanding the thought and emotion of somebody else that is not you, that has a different life experience. It's not an easy thing to do, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to do. And if you want to try it, and if you get good at it and you put the effort to think about it, like stay in character. And I guess like those things that people say usually, like, oh, I have I have a lot of very similar to and stuff like that will help you. But stay in character, keep your character consistent, stuff like that. That will help you. But at some point, you not have to think about that anymore because you're gonna become your character for the time of the game. Thank you for the people that joined. Thank you for the people that watch later on the replay. I hope you found something interesting there, something to consider. And I hope you'll be able at some point to get like this true immersion when you don't like have to translate your thought in the thought of your character, but it's the thought of your character that comes to your mind first. I'll end the stream now. Have a good day. Take care. And like I said, I'm only going to be live next time on Monday for this interview with James Raji. Although I might make a gaming stream later on with playing some Warband and chatting. I haven't done one in a while, maybe in a week. Was it last time? Yeah, I think it was last week. So I haven't done one in a while. Those are just like I play some video. I play like this Mountain Blade Warband, old video game, and I chat with the people that show up. So we can chat about anything. So if you want to have like some of my opinion on stuff that is a bit outside of gaming, that's also the time to come and ask, because I'm a little more unfiltered and uncensored as much as I can be on YouTube. So if you want to, when you see those stream pop, they're not planned really. So I might do one tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure, depending on how I have like stuff to do around here. But if you see those stream pop up in your feed, join in. They're fun. Take care, guys. Have a good one.